The stars outside the window of the orbital station shimmered like frozen sparks, silent and endless. Commander Aaron Vale stood with his hands behind his back, staring out into that ocean of light. He had spent 10 years among the stars, serving the United Terran Fleet as an engineer and diplomat. But that morning, as the artificial sunlight filtered through the glass and painted the metal floors gold, he felt something strange in the air, like the universe was holding its breath. The control room behind him was alive with low chatter. Technicians moved between consoles, screens glowed with alien symbols, and the hum of the station's generators filled the silence. Aaron was used to tension in space, engine failures, pirate encounters, even alien disputes. But this was different. This was the kind of quiet that came before something big. Then it came. A single tone echoed through the command center. The main screen flickered, then turned dark. Slowly, a new image appeared. A royal crest, shimmering with gold and violet light. The symbol was unmistakable. Every officer froze. "The insignia of the Zelthari Empire," whispered one of the aides. Her voice trembled. Aaron turned sharply. The Zelthari were one of the oldest and most powerful species in the galaxy. Elegant, intelligent, and proud, they ruled hundreds of systems. They rarely contacted humans directly, and when they did, it was always through layers of protocol. Yet now the symbol of their queen herself glowed on their screen. "Patch it through," Aaron ordered quietly. The room fell silent as the holographic emitter on the table came alive. A beam of pale blue light rose from its center and shaped itself into a tall, translucent figure. It was a Zelthari envoy, its skin glimmering like glass, eyes a deep sapphire blue. The alien's voice carried the melody of flowing water when it spoke. "By decree of Her Radiant Majesty, Queen Sirathra IX, ruler of the Zelthari Dominion, one human, Commander Aaron Vale, is hereby summoned to appear before the royal court." No one spoke for a long moment. Aaron blinked. "Me?" he finally asked, his voice steady but uncertain. "Yes," the envoy replied. "By name and by deed, you will travel to the Zelthari capital immediately. The queen herself has requested your presence." A murmur spread through the room. The officers looked at Aaron with wide eyes. A human being requested by the Zelthari queen? That had never happened before in the entire history of their relations. Aaron frowned slightly. "May I ask the reason?" The envoy tilted its head, almost like a gesture of pity or respect. "The reason will be given to you by the queen herself. You are expected within the next rotation." The hologram faded, leaving a heavy silence behind. Aaron sat in his quarters a few hours later, still trying to make sense of what had happened. He stared at the message again on his handheld console. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a diplomatic error. The queen herself had personally requested him. He looked around his small cabin, bare walls, a shelf full of manuals, and a single framed photo of Earth's oceans. The sight made him sigh softly. He had joined the fleet to explore, to fix what others broke, to bring humanity's name into the stars. But he had never expected this. He replayed the last mission in his mind. Just 2 weeks ago, he had been assigned to assist a Zelthari research vessel, stranded near a collapsing warp gate. The gate's energy matrix had failed, and even their top engineers couldn't repair it. Aaron had volunteered to help, spending 36 straight hours inside a magnetic field chamber, patching conduits and rewriting old code. When he finally brought the gate online, the alien crew had stared at him like he had performed magic. The Zelthari captain had bowed slightly, a gesture rare for their kind. But that was the end of it, or so Aaron had thought. Now the queen wanted to meet him. The next day, a Zelthari transport ship arrived to escort him. It was shaped like a silver crescent, silent and graceful. When Aaron boarded, the air smelled faintly of ozone and strange flowers. The interior was smooth, organic, as if the walls themselves were alive. The crew was polite but distant. They didn't speak much to him, and when they did, their tone was respectful. Too respectful. He noticed how their eyes lingered on him, not with suspicion, but with curiosity, as if they were studying him for reasons he couldn't guess. Hours stretched into days as the ship jumped through folded space, stars bending and snapping into lines outside the window. Aaron spent most of his time in the observation deck, watching the stars and wondering why fate had chosen him. He remembered his father's words back on Earth. "Sometimes, son, the universe calls you not because you're ready, but because you're the only one who can answer." He had never really understood what that meant. Until now. When the ship finally arrived at the Zelthari homeworld, Aaron felt his breath catch. It wasn't a planet. It was a living jewel. Giant crystal spires reached into the clouds, glowing softly in shades of blue and violet. Rivers of light flowed through the cities, connecting massive floating structures suspended in the air. The skies shimmered with translucent creatures gliding like manta rays made of glass. The capital city, Prime, was unlike anything human eyes had ever seen. The Queen's Palace stood at its heart, a colossal structure made of pure luminarit, shining like a star even in daylight. The ship landed on a platform suspended above a glowing lake. As Aaron stepped out, 2 Zelthari guards awaited him. Their armor glistened like liquid metal. They didn't speak. They simply bowed and gestured for him to follow. Aaron adjusted his uniform and walked behind them, his heart beating fast. The corridors of the palace were silent except for the faint hum of energy pulsing through the walls. He noticed inscriptions, symbols that reminded him of the ones he'd seen during the warp gate repair. Strange, ancient shapes. Finally, the guards stopped before a pair of enormous doors carved with the image of a rising sun. One of them spoke softly. "The Queen awaits." The doors opened slowly with a sound like singing glass. Aaron stepped into a vast hall larger than any cathedral he had ever seen. Columns of light rose into the air and the floor shimmered like liquid silver. At the far end, seated upon a throne that floated slightly above the ground, was Queen Sarathra IX. She was breathtaking. Her body shimmered with radiant blue light, her form both alien and graceful. Her eyes glowed softly, intelligent and calm. A flowing mantle of crystalline fabric draped over her shoulders, reflecting every color of the spectrum. When she spoke, her voice carried like music, soft but commanding. "Human, you are Commander Aaron Vale of the Terran Fleet?" Aaron bowed his head respectfully. "Yes, Your Majesty." "You repaired the Nexus Gate near the Orvan Rift?" "Yes," he said. "It was a team effort." "The Zelthari engineers?" "No," she interrupted gently. "It was you. You alone restored what our scientists declared impossible." Aaron hesitated. "I only did what needed to be done." The Queen studied him for a long moment. Then she rose from her throne, her figure casting a soft glow across the chamber. The guards around the room lowered their heads as she approached him slowly. "You must be wondering why I summoned you," she said. Aaron nodded. "Yes, Your Majesty." She stopped before him, close enough that he could see faint symbols glowing beneath her translucent skin, symbols that looked oddly familiar. "Because, Commander Vale," she said softly, "you carry something within you that should no longer exist." Aaron frowned. "I don't understand." "You will," she said. "Soon." She turned to her attendants. "Clear the chamber." The guards bowed and exited silently. The enormous doors sealed shut behind them, leaving Aaron and the Queen alone in the vast hall. The air felt different now, heavy, electric. The Queen faced him again, her expression softer than before. "Tell me, human," she said quietly. "When you repaired the Nexus Gate, did you see the symbols that appeared upon the core?" Aaron blinked. Yes, they looked old, familiar somehow, almost like the carvings on ancient Earth ruins. The Queen's eyes glowed brighter. Those symbols belonged to a species that vanished eons ago, a species we believed to be myth. Aaron's heart began to race. "And what does that have to do with me?" The Queen's voice dropped to a whisper.
"Because those same symbols lie within your blood." Aaron stood frozen.
The words barely made sense. "My blood?" he repeated. The Queen nodded slowly. "You are not here for punishment nor ceremony. You are here because you awakened something ancient, something that recognizes you. And I need to know. Why?" Before Aaron could respond, the chamber lights dimmed. The Queen raised her hand and a beam of light formed between them, a holographic pattern of twisting symbols. Pulsing gently, as he stared at them, something stirred deep within Aaron. He didn't know how or why, but the symbols made sense. They weren't just shapes, they were words. Words that whispered to him across time. The Queen watched him closely. "You see it, don't you?" Aaron swallowed hard, unable to speak. "Then," she said softly, "the galaxy may not be as we believed." The vast doors of the royal chamber closed behind Aaron Vale with a deep echo that rolled through the corridors like distant thunder. The 2 Zelthari guards escorted him through the glowing hallways of the palace. their silent movements almost rhythmic, like a ritual. Aaron's mind was a storm. The Queen's words kept repeating in his head. You carry something within you that should no longer exist. He wanted to ask questions, demand answers, anything, but the Queen had ordered him to rest before the next meeting. And no one, not even a human commander, disobeyed a royal decree in the Zelthari Empire. As they led him to his quarters, he noticed again how every inch of the palace seemed alive. The walls glowed faintly, their surface shifting like flowing crystal. Tiny blue motes of light drifted through the air, humming softly as if whispering secrets he couldn't hear. Finally, the guards stopped before a tall archway. The door opened soundlessly to reveal a chamber of surprising beauty. A circular bed floated a few inches above the ground, surrounded by softly glowing vines. The air smelled like fresh rain. One of the guards bowed slightly. This is your rest chamber, Commander Vale. You will be summoned when Her Majesty calls again. Aaron nodded, trying to sound calm. Thank you. The guards left. The door sealed behind him with a faint shimmer. For a long time, Aaron just stood there, staring out through the transparent wall that overlooked the city below. The Zelthari capital at night was a living dream. Thousands of light towers shimmered like vertical rivers, and great floating ships moved between them, trailing lines of silver mist. He had seen hundreds of alien worlds during his career, but none had ever felt like this one. There was something ancient about it, something sacred. He sat on the edge of the bed and pressed his palms to his face. What does she mean? Something inside me, he muttered softly. When he closed his eyes, faint images flickered behind his eyelids, symbols glowing in gold, patterns that looked almost human but far older. The same symbols he had seen on the warp gate. The same ones the Queen had shown him. He shook his head. No, that's impossible. He was human. Born on Earth, educated on Mars. Nothing about him was special except, apparently, to a race of crystal-skinned aliens who now treated him like some kind of mystery. He finally lay down, but sleep didn't come easily. His thoughts were too loud. Every time he drifted off, he saw the Queen's luminous eyes staring at him, as if searching his soul. When morning came, his door chimed softly. Commander Vale, came a voice. Her Majesty summons you. Aaron straightened quickly and followed the attendants through the palace once again. This time he was taken deeper, far beyond the public halls and into the heart of the palace. The corridors narrowed, the light dimmed, and strange glowing runes lined the walls. It felt like walking through a living memory. Finally, they entered a chamber that took Aaron's breath away. It was vast, circular, with a domed ceiling made of transparent crystal that opened directly to the sky. Streams of energy flowed across the walls like veins of light. In the center stood a floating platform surrounded by what looked like suspended orbs, each one showing images of stars, planets, and galaxies. The Queen stood before the display, her form bathed in pale blue light. When she turned, the orbs faded one by one, leaving only her and Aaron in the vast silence. Welcome again, Commander Vale, she said softly. You have rested? Aaron nodded. Yes, Your Majesty, though I admit I've had many questions. I imagine you would. She gestured for him to approach. When he stepped onto the platform beside her, the surface rippled under his boots like liquid glass. Tell me, she said, do humans still believe they were born alone in the universe? Aaron hesitated. Not anymore. We've met many species, yours included. We know we're part of something bigger, the Queen smiled faintly. And yet, even after meeting others, you still think yourselves new to the stars? Aaron frowned slightly. We are. Humanity began exploring less than 2 centuries ago. Her glowing eyes softened. Then what I'm about to show you will challenge everything you think you know. She raised her hand and the air before them shimmered. A wave of light spread outward and suddenly Aaron was surrounded by images. Not holograms, but memories etched in time. He saw alien landscapes burning under twin suns, massive cities of light, fleets of starships sailing across the void. These are fragments of the celestial archives, the Queen said. Records older than the Zelthari, older than even the Dominion itself. Aaron watched as one image froze, a tall humanoid figure standing before a glowing monument. Its shape was unmistakable, 2 arms, 2 legs, a human-like face. But the being's eyes glowed gold, and symbols circled around its head like a halo of data. Who is that? Aaron asked quietly. The ones we called the progenitors, the Queen answered. They were the first, builders of the gates, shapers of light, guardians of life. Every race in this galaxy carries a fragment of their design. They disappeared long before my ancestors learned to walk. Aaron stared at the image. And you think humans are related to them? The Queen turned to him, her voice almost a whisper. We do not think, Commander. We know. She waved her hand again, and another image appeared, this time a spiral of glowing DNA patterns. It shifted rapidly, splitting into two parallel sequences, one labeled progenitor code, the other human genome. They matched perfectly. Aaron felt his stomach twist. That's not possible. Our DNA evolved on Earth. There's no record of... Your records are young, she interrupted gently. Theirs are ancient. The progenitors seeded thousands of worlds long ago. It seems one of those worlds was yours. The room fell silent except for the faint hum of the energy field. Aaron struggled to process her words. So you're saying humans are descendants of the first civilization? You are the heirs of their design, the Queen said. And the proof lies not just in your genes but in what you did 2 weeks ago. The warp gate, Aaron whispered. The Queen nodded slowly. Our scientists could not restore it. The core rejected our energy signatures, but when you touched it, it awakened as if recognizing you. Aaron remembered that moment. The symbols had appeared the instant he linked his neural interface to the gate. It had felt strange, like something was guiding him. He had thought it was instinct or luck, but now... It responded to you, the Queen said softly. Because your kind created it long ago. Aaron's heart pounded. Then why me? I'm no scientist of ancient history. I'm just an engineer. And yet you succeeded where the greatest minds of my people failed, she replied. That is why I summoned you. Aaron turned away, walking slowly around the platform. The floating stars reflected in his eyes as his thoughts raced. If this is true, why tell me? Why not inform my government or the Terran Council? The Queen's expression darkened slightly. Because the Council would seek to control it. They would weaponize the knowledge just as others once did. I needed someone who acted from instinct, not ambition, and your actions at the rift prove that. He looked back at her. You mean when I stayed behind to fix the gate while everyone else evacuated? Yes, you risked yourself not for glory, but to save lives, ours and yours. That is the spirit the progenitors once carried. Compassion, courage, and unity. Aaron fell silent. For a long time, the only sound was the distant hum of the palace. Finally, he said quietly, What do you want from me, Your Majesty? The Queen stepped closer. I want you to help us uncover what remains of the progenitors. The energy you awakened is spreading. Ancient systems across the galaxy are responding, reactivating after eons. Something is returning and we must be ready. Aaron stared at her. You think they're coming back? Her glowing eyes met his. I think something they left behind is awakening, and I fear not all of it is benevolent. A chill ran through him. So you believe I'm connected to it somehow? You are, she said simply. The gate recognized your code signature. It called you its kin. Aaron tried to speak, but no words came out. He had never believed in destiny, only in logic and work. But standing here, in front of a queen who spoke of ancient bloodlines and cosmic legacies, he wasn't sure what to believe anymore. The queen placed her hand on a nearby crystal console. The platform beneath them began to rise slowly toward the open ceiling. The dome parted, revealing the endless night sky above. Stars glittered in all directions, bright and infinite. Look, she said softly. Do you see them? Aaron followed her gaze. Far above, among the constellations, faint golden lights shimmered, moving, pulsing, aligning into patterns he had never seen before. Those are the markers of the stellar hearts, the Queen whispered. Energy cores left behind by the progenitors, dormant for millions of years. One has already stirred since your arrival. Aaron watched in awe. You mean, I somehow reactivated them? Perhaps not you alone, she said. But your presence was the key. The galaxy is remembering you, Commander Vale. He felt the weight of her words sink deep inside him. He wasn't just a visitor anymore. Somehow he had become part of something much larger, something written in the stars long before he was born. The Queen turned toward him, her expression calm but unreadable. Rest tonight. Tomorrow we begin the awakening. You will see the heart for yourself. Aaron hesitated, then nodded slowly. And if I fail? Her eyes glowed brighter, filled with something like faith. Then the galaxy sleeps forever. The platform descended again, the stars fading behind them. As the night before the mission felt heavier than any Aaron Vale had ever experienced. He sat on the balcony of his chamber, staring at the glowing skyline of Oralis Prime. The alien city stretched beneath him like a sea of stars, beautiful, quiet, and endless. He couldn't stop thinking about what the Queen had said. The galaxy is remembering you, Commander. The morning sun painted the crystal walls of the palace in hues of gold and violet. Commander Aaron Vale woke with a restless energy that made sleep almost impossible. The visions from the Mirror of Origin still lingered in his mind. The faces of the progenitors, the ships drifting across the void, and the small child sent toward Earth. He knew that what the Queen had shown him wasn't just history. It was a call. Something ancient was awakening, and he was part of it. Today you will see the stellar heart as it truly is, the Queen had said the night before. Aaron rubbed his eyes, straightened his uniform, and made his way to the chamber where she awaited. Her presence filled the room with a calm authority. The glowing light of her aura seemed to pulse with anticipation. "Are you ready, Commander?" she asked softly. Aaron nodded, though his stomach twisted with nerves. "I think so, Your Majesty, but what exactly do you expect me to do?" "See it, understand it, and then prove that you are its kin." They moved quickly through the palace corridors to the lower chambers. This time the path felt different, more alive. The walls pulsed with energy, and faint golden symbols appeared as they passed, responding to Aaron's presence. It was as if the palace itself recognized him. At last they arrived at a massive chamber unlike anything Aaron had ever seen. The space was circular, with a central platform hovering above a pit of glowing liquid energy. Around it were columns of crystal, each filled with swirling lights, tiny stars trapped in motion, and in the center floated a sphere, a massive, radiant orb, shining with a light that seemed older than time itself. The stellar heart. Aaron's breath caught. It was larger, brighter, and more alive than he could have imagined. Pulsing waves of energy radiated from it, brushing his face like the warmth of sunlight. "This is it," the Queen said. "The heart of the progenitors. Every civilization they seeded, every star they touched, all comes from this." Aaron stepped closer, feeling a magnetic pull. "It's a beautiful," he whispered. "And dangerous," she warned. "Do not touch it carelessly." "Many have tried." "None succeeded," Aaron nodded. "I won't, but how do I prove I belong to it?" "By awakening it fully," the Queen said. "By showing that you can channel its energy without harming yourself or others. Only a true descendant of the progenitors can do that." Aaron studied the sphere, remembering his experience at the Nexus Gate. The symbols had guided him then, and he had to trust them now. Taking a deep breath, he extended his hand. As soon as his fingers brushed the orb, a surge of warmth ran through him. The light responded immediately, rippling outward in golden waves. The room trembled as the energy expanded. Aaron felt it inside him, not just in his hands, but throughout his entire body. Images flashed before his eyes. Galaxies forming, stars igniting, planets spinning into orbit. And then familiar faces appeared, the progenitors. Their eyes glowed gold, their expressions serene as if welcoming him home. "Aaron," a voice echoed in his mind. "You are one of us," Aaron gasped, stumbling backward slightly. He looked at the Queen, whose expression had softened with awe. "Do you feel it?" she asked. "Do you understand?" Aaron nodded, though words failed him. He felt ancient knowledge flowing into him, memories, abilities, understanding he had never known. It was overwhelming, yet comforting. Suddenly, the light flared, brighter than before. Alarms from the palace instruments rang out as energy readings spiked dangerously. The Zelthari attendants rushed to stabilize the chamber, but the heart responded only to Aaron's presence. "Step back," one of the scientists shouted. Aaron tried to move, but the energy was too strong. The orb pulsed with a golden rhythm that synced with his heartbeat. And then he realized something astonishing. The heart wasn't just responding to him. It was him. "It recognizes you," the Queen said softly. "It sees you as one of its own." Aaron extended both hands fully. The light surged, flowing around him like a river of stars. Symbols appeared in the air, glowing gold and silver. Aaron felt power, knowledge, and responsibility all at once. I think I can control it," he whispered, unsure if he spoke aloud or in his mind. The Queen nodded, her eyes radiant. "Do it." Show the Council of Elders that you are progenitor-born. The council arrived shortly afterward. Dozens of Zelthari elders clad in robes of flowing crystal circled the platform. Their eyes glowing faintly studied Aaron with a mixture of awe and doubt. Human, one of the elders spoke. How do you claim kinship with the progenitors? Many have tried to awaken the heart and failed. Aaron inhaled deeply. I don't know why or how, but when I touch it, it responds. And it shows me things I shouldn't know, the elders murmured among themselves. The room felt tense. The queen stepped forward, her glowing hands raised slightly. It is not by chance that the heart responds, she said. This human carries the essence of the progenitors. Watch. Aaron took a steadying breath and stepped onto the platform. He extended his hands toward the heart again. The orb pulsed in recognition, sending waves of golden energy outward. The murals on the walls lit up, depicting the progenitors shaping worlds, teaching early civilizations, guiding stars into place. The elders gasped. The power in the room was immense, yet no harm came to anyone. The heart's energy flowed through Aaron and radiated outward, filling the chamber with a warm, golden light. It accepts him, whispered one elder. Aaron felt his mind expand, not in size, but in understanding. He saw the design of stars, the paths of planets, and the intricate threads connecting life across the galaxy. He understood why the progenitors had done what they did, and why the galaxy had needed their guidance. I can feel them, Aaron said. Their knowledge, it's inside me. I can see their purpose. And I think I can continue it. The elders stepped back, their expressions changed from skepticism to reverence. Even the queen, who had been calm and composed all along, looked at Aaron with awe. You have passed the test, she said softly. The heart recognizes you. The galaxy recognizes you. The progenitors recognize you. Aaron felt drained but elated. This was beyond anything he had ever imagined, beyond any mission, any engineering feat, any war or exploration. He was no longer just a human engineer. He was a part of something far greater, a link in an ancient chain that stretched across the stars. Now, the queen said, her voice firm, we must prepare for what comes next. The awakening you've begun will spread. Other stellar hearts will respond. And not all who awaken will be friendly. Aaron nodded slowly, understanding the weight of her words. The galaxy was stirring, and he was at the center of it. I'm ready, he said quietly. Whatever comes next, I will face it. The queen placed her hand lightly on his shoulder, a rare gesture of trust and connection. Good, you are not alone. Humanity and Zelthari will stand together. But remember, Aaron Vale, this is only the beginning. The room dimmed as the heart's energy receded, returning to a gentle glow. The murals continued to shimmer, showing the infinite legacy of the progenitors, and Aaron felt a deep sense of purpose settle within him. He had proven himself. The heart had accepted him, and now the galaxy awaited his next move. As they left the chamber, the queen spoke quietly, almost to herself. The human will rise, and with him, the stars will awaken again. Aaron looked up at the glowing ceiling, at the patterns of stars reflected in the crystalline dome. He realized that this moment, this proof, was more than recognition. It was a responsibility, one that he could not ignore. The galaxy was remembering him, and it was time to answer its call. The air in the palace was electric. Commander Aaron Vale had barely slept, yet he felt a surge of energy and purpose unlike anything in his life before. The awakening of the stellar heart had left him drained. Yes, but also stronger, like a door had opened inside him, and 1,000 whispers of the past now spoke clearly. Queen Sarathra IX waited for him in the central chamber, her figure bathed in soft blue light. The heart pulsed quietly in the center, its golden glow dim but steady. Around them, the Zelthari council members watched silently, their eyes a mixture of awe and cautious curiosity. Commander Vale, the queen said, her voice calm but firm. It is time you understand the reason I summoned you here. Aaron took a deep breath. He had wondered this since the very first moment the queen had called for him. Why him? Why not a counselor, a scientist, or a soldier? Why did a single human with no apparent rank or influence hold the galaxy's attention? I am listening, Your Majesty, he said. The queen gestured to the heart. Do you see it? The stellar heart? Aaron nodded. Yes, I've touched it. I've felt it. I know it responds to me. Correct, she said. It responds because it recognizes its creator, in you. Or more accurately, your kind. The progenitors seeded this galaxy with life, yes, but their knowledge, their power did not vanish. It was hidden, waiting for those who carried their essence. You and your species are their heirs, Aaron swallowed hard. But why me? Why a single human? The Queen stepped closer, her glowing eyes piercing yet gentle. Because you are the proof of the legacy. Humanity is not new to the stars. Your kind carries a spark that even the Zelthari do not have. One spark that can awaken the heart fully and perhaps awaken others. Aaron's mind raced. The visions from the mirror of origins, the glow of the heart, the patterns of stars that seemed to align for him. Everything was real. He was not just an observer. He was part of the plan. I still don't understand, he admitted. Are you saying humans were always meant to lead? The Queen's lips curved into a faint smile. Not lead, Commander. Guide. Protect. The galaxy faces forces that even we do not fully comprehend. The stellar hearts are awakening, and not all of them are controlled or benign. Only one who carries the progenitor essence can mediate their power safely. Aaron's heart pounded. The weight of responsibility pressed on him like gravity. He had spent his life repairing starships, solving technical problems, and surviving battles. Now the survival of entire systems rested on him, not just as a soldier but as a bridge between the past and the present. You expect me to do this alone? He asked quietly. The Queen shook her head. No, you will not be alone. Humanity and Zelthari must work together. Others will join us. But the first step? The spark must come from you. Aaron took a deep breath and stepped closer to the heart. The golden light pulsed, almost as if it recognized him, almost as if it had been waiting. He placed his hands upon the sphere again. Instantly, a wave of energy coursed through him. It was stronger than before, yet he felt control. The heart was alive and it was communicating. Not in words, but in feelings, in patterns, in visions. Aaron saw entire star systems, civilizations being built and destroyed, wars fought across time, and then he saw something terrifying. Massive shadows of energy corrupting some of the stellar hearts, spreading across the galaxy like disease. The heart shows me danger, he whispered. Yes, the Queen replied. The progenitors foresaw it. Not all who awaken will be benevolent. Some will bring chaos. Aaron felt the weight of his own bloodline. The heritage of a species he had never known was so old, so powerful. The stellar heart responded to him, its light stabilizing the energy that had begun to pulse erratically, like a heartbeat racing with fear. It is responding to me, he said. I can control it. I can stabilize it. The Queen's voice was calm but urgent. Then do it, Commander. Show all who doubt the power of humans that you are the bridge, the proof that humanity is not insignificant but essential. Aaron closed his eyes and focused. He reached deep inside himself, calling the energy he felt, the spark of the progenitors within him. Slowly, the golden light of the heart aligned with his heartbeat, harmonizing with the rhythm of his mind. The chamber filled with a soft, golden radiance. The Zelthari Council gasped as the heart's energy expanded outward, rippling across the walls, illuminating the murals of ancient progenitors, showing them in motion again, building, guiding, teaching. Aaron felt something inside him awaken further, a memory, or perhaps an echo of the progenitors themselves. Knowledge of starship design, of energy manipulation, of life-seeding techniques flooded his mind. But instead of overwhelming him, it felt natural, as if he had always known it. I can feel them, Aaron whispered. I can feel the progenitors' intentions. I can continue their work. The Queen stepped closer, her hands glowing. Then you have passed the test. You are no longer just a human, Commander Vale. You are a living link to the past. The galaxy is awakening because of you. Suddenly, the calm golden light of the heart shifted. Small flashes of crimson appeared among the gold. Aaron's eyes widened. He understood immediately these were corrupted signals. Other forces, other beings awakening with the stellar hearts, but unlike him, they were hostile. The danger has begun, he whispered, feeling the pulse of energy surge through him. Yes, the Queen said. This is why I summoned you. Humanity's spark must be present. Your essence can counteract the corruption before it spreads further. That is your role. Aaron's hands glowed as he focused. The corrupted signals were small but spreading. He reached into the golden light, his mind guiding it, channeling his understanding of the progenitor's methods. Slowly, the crimson corruption faded, replaced by pure golden waves of energy. The Zelthari Council watched in awe. Even for them, the sight was unprecedented. A human using the energy of the stellar heart, balancing ancient cosmic power with only instinct and trust. When the light finally stabilized, Aaron lowered his hands, exhausted, but triumphant. The heart glowed steadily, calm and bright. "You see?" the Queen said softly. "You are the reason I requested your presence. Humanity carries a spark that cannot be replicated. Without you, this power could have been lost or worse, used for destruction." Aaron exhaled deeply, the weight of responsibility still pressing on him, but tempered with understanding. "I understand now. It's not about glory or proving ourselves to others. It's about protecting the galaxy and honoring those who came before us," the Queen nodded. "Exactly. That is the reason I summoned you, not as a subject, not as a soldier, but as the living proof that humans have a purpose greater than you have ever imagined." Aaron felt something shift within him. Fear and uncertainty were replaced by clarity. The legacy of the progenitors was not just a story, it was a mission. And he was the first human to accept it fully. "What happens now?" he asked. "Now," the Queen said, her gaze steady and filled with quiet authority, "we prepare for what comes next. The stellar hearts across the galaxy will respond to your presence. Some will awaken peacefully, others may not. You must guide them. Humanity and the Zelthari will stand together." Aaron nodded. For the first time, he felt a sense of belonging unlike anything on Earth, or in the fleet. He was not alone. He had allies. He had purpose. And most importantly, he understood why he had been summoned. The galaxy was vast, ancient, and dangerous. But for the first time, humanity was no longer just a passenger among the stars. It was a beacon. And Aaron Vale was the spark that would ignite it. The Queen stepped closer and placed a hand on his shoulder, a rare gesture of trust, reverence, and recognition. "Remember this, Commander Vale," she said softly. "You are not just a human. You are the reason the galaxy remembers, and whatever comes next, the stars will rise because of you." Aaron looked out toward the glowing city of Prime, then up at the endless sky above, where distant stellar hearts pulsed like living stars. He felt the legacy of the progenitors deep within his soul, and with it, the knowledge that humanity had a role far greater than survival. It was a role he would accept,